You ever been scrolling through a website and you just stop? You kind of lean in a little because something caught your eye. It's not an ad, not a pop up, but this subtle, almost hypnotic movement on the page. Chances are you just ran into a really well done water effect. So, what is it about these digital currents that's so captivating? Well, let's dive in.
It's this primal captivation, right? You see light dancing on a digital surface, a gentle ripple that expands from where your mouse is, or maybe a serene underwater scene that just unfolds in front of you. It's way more than just clever animation. These digital currents tap into something ancient within us, this deep connection we all have with water. Is it just a cool visual trick, or is it actually a strategic tool that gets us more engaged? That's the big question for any designer or developer building for the web today. The answer to why these things work so well, it lies deep inside our own minds. As humans, we have this built-in, almost biological affinity for water. It represents life, clarity, and motion. That's calming and predictable. Think about it. In a digital world that's just saturated with static information, the organic, kind of unpredictable movement of a water effect naturally draws your eye. It can shape a brand's entire identity, a gentle stream for an eco brand versus, say, energetic splashes for a new tech startup. And by tapping into those positive feelings we all have about water, it can create a real emotional connection, making you feel more calm and open to whatever message the site has. But here's the crucial thing, the word of caution. The very same effects that draw us in can just as easily become overwhelming distractions. The goal is always to enhance the experience, not to flood it with so much visual noise that people can't even get to the content. Okay, so now let's get into the how. Creating these effects isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It's a whole spectrum of different techniques, and each one has its own complexity, its own performance cost, and its own perfect use case. So on one end of the spectrum, you've got your subtle effects. Think high-quality images, videos, or simple CSS animations. These are awesome for realism and elegance, but the file sizes can get big and you don't get a lot of interaction. Then, on the other end, you've got these complex, interactive experiences powered by JavaScript and WebGL. They give you incredible, physics-based realism, but, and it's a big but, they cost a lot in terms of performance and are way harder to build. You can really think of this as a ladder of complexity. At the bottom rung, you might just start with a simple, decorative video background of some calm waves. If you want to add some interactivity, you climb up a rung to SVG or Canvas to create ripples that actually react to the user's mouse. And if you need a truly immersive physics-based 3D world, you climb all the way to the top with WebGL, which taps directly into the computer's graphics card for maximum power. Each step up adds visual flair, for sure, but it also adds a lot of technical weight. And that technical weight is so important. I mean, making a beautiful effect is one thing, but making sure it doesn't completely break the user experience is a whole other story. Every cool animation comes with a set of critical trade-offs that we just have to think about. This chart pretty much sums up the core conflict. As your visual complexity skyrockets, your page load speed, well, it often plummets. And when speed suffers, the user experience is always the first casualty. A stunning effect is totally useless if it makes a website so slow and frustrating that people just click away. So what are the usual suspects weighing down your site? It's often massive, unoptimized images and video files, or heavy JavaScript that acts like an anchor, literally blocking the page from becoming interactive. And all of this has a negative impact on things like Google's Core Web Vitals, which are metrics that directly measure user experience. Now, beyond performance, there's another factor we absolutely cannot ignore: accessibility. This little piece of code right here is a user's direct signal to us. They've gone into their system settings and asked for less animation, and our websites must respect that choice. For some users, a lot of motion isn't just annoying, it can be physically uncomfortable or even trigger conditions like vertigo. By wrapping our animation code in this query, we make sure it only runs for people who are okay with it. This really says it all, doesn't it? If your amazing water animation triggers vestibular issues for someone, or just ignores a user's explicit request for less motion, it's not a successful design. It's a flawed one. Inclusivity isn't just some nice-to-have add-on. It's a fundamental part of good design. And hey, it's not just about human users. We also have to think about search engine crawlers. Google actually uses page speed as a ranking factor, so a slow site can directly hurt your SEO. Plus, if your important content is locked behind some complex animation, the crawlers might struggle to even index it, which basically makes you invisible online. Okay, so we've seen the power and we've seen the pitfalls. The key, like with so many things, is finding the right balance. It's about being strategic and making deliberate choices, not just chasing whatever flashy new trend is out there. This really brings us to the core tightrope walk of modern web design. For every ounce of aesthetic appeal, we have to weigh its purpose and function. For every layer of visual richness, we have to consider performance. And for every attempt at innovation, we need to ground it in usability and accessibility for absolutely everyone. It's a constant negotiation. This is the million-dollar question, right? After all this work, how do we prove that our cool water effect is actually making the experience better and not just getting in the way? We can't just guess. We need data.
We have to measure the impact. We can use A/B tests to see if a version with the effect actually improves conversions. We monitor key metrics like bounce rate and time on page to see how user behavior changes. And maybe most importantly, we get real feedback. Watch actual users interact with the site. The data tells you what is happening, but talking to your users tells you why it's happening. You absolutely need both.
So ultimately, after we've navigated the psychology, the tech, and all the trade-offs, we get to this final, crucial insight. When we're using these powerful elements, our ambition has to be bigger than just creating a visual splash. The real goal is to guide the current, to steer the user's attention, their emotion, and their actions toward a positive and purposeful destination. That's how we turn a simple effect into a truly meaningful experience.